Do you remember the first time you heard about the law of attraction? Maybe it was in a bookstore, catching sight of that mysterious cover for The Secret. Promising, almost like a treasure map. Or perhaps it was the movie, hearing celebrities declare with sparkling eyes that positive thinking could turn anyone's life into something out of a fairy tale. Suddenly, in coffee shop conversations, friend groups, and all over the internet, everyone was talking about it. Just imagine, believe, and achieve. Dream boards filled with magazine cutouts, affirmations on the mirror, wish lists scrawled out at midnight. For a while, it felt like we'd stumbled upon a magic key, as if all of life's mysteries could be boiled down to one simple formula: positive thinking plus intense desire, brand new reality. But what happens when the magic doesn't seem to show up? Millions of people were captivated by the promise of a new world, but as time passed, thousands grew frustrated, disillusioned, feeling deep down that the equation was incomplete. Vision boards stayed hung on the wall, mostly forgotten. Affirmations turned into powerless phrases, and many ended up blaming themselves, feeling guilty, as if they just didn't know how to wish the right way. That was when something bigger began to emerge. Science, which used to keep its distance from all this talk of desire and spirituality, entered the scene, asking uncomfortable questions and making some surprising discoveries. Quantum physics, venturing into the invisible, revealed that reality really is energy, but not in the simple way that the old bestseller once told us. And just like that, the conversation changed all over again. Now, more than 18 years after The Secret, we can look back, not to judge, but to acknowledge this. The law of attraction wasn't just a fad. It was only the beginning. What once seemed like pure self-help became a focus of lab studies, intellectual and spiritual debate, and deeply personal journeys. Are you ready to understand what's truly at play when we talk about manifesting dreams, and how modern science, teamed with timeless wisdom, finally explains why for some people everything flows, and for others, nothing leaves the page? If so, get ready. Let's move beyond The Secret, and together, uncover the next chapter of the law of attraction, the one that brings together the power of your heart, the energy of your thoughts, and the infinite possibilities of the quantum universe. Take a deep breath, open your mind. You're about to go on a journey that truly can change your life. What I'm sharing with you today isn't just another law of attraction video, nor one more generic prosperity lesson like all the others on YouTube. It's much more than that. What's ahead is a complete experience, built around 9 deep and practical topics, each one meant to flip the switch in the way you think about money, abundance, and manifestation. This is a class, a hands-on lab, a real invitation to go beyond the surface and access concepts, methods, and connections that may have never reached you before, or at least not quite this way. This is applied science, energy in motion. You'll finally understand why most promises about attracting wealth don't work, and how to finally align intention, emotion, and action, using practical tools you can apply right away. So, here's my sincere invitation. Stay with me until the very end. Grab a notepad, a pen, give this your full focus, take notes, and if possible, watch again. Every detail matters. Get ready, because by the end of this class, you just might see prosperity from a completely new perspective. Let's get started. 1. The legacy of The Secret, far beyond a bestseller. When we talk about the law of attraction today, it's impossible to ignore what a turning point The Secret was. Whether you loved it, rolled your eyes, or just had doubts, here's a fact. Before The Secret, the idea of co-creating reality with your mind was mostly limited to esoteric circles, philosophical debates, or ancient writings that many dismissed as mysticism. When the book exploded in 2006, it was like a positive bomb dropped in the collective unconscious. It was translated into dozens of languages, turned into a documentary, sold millions of copies, and made just about every books that change your life list. The term law of attraction leapt straight out of the occult underground into bar conversations, family dinners, and interviews with the rich and famous. So, what was behind this phenomenon? A revolutionary promise, You can be, do, or have anything you desire if you learn to align your thoughts and feelings with what you want. So simple, so direct, so seductive. It became almost a shout of freedom for anyone who felt stuck with a predetermined destiny or weighed down by monotony. The power of spiritual democratization. The Secret made formerly esoteric concepts like creative visualization, vibration, energy, and co-creation accessible to everyone, no longer reserved for a handful of seekers. Suddenly, millions of people around the world, no matter their religion, background, or status, saw themselves as the lead characters of their own stories, maybe for the very first time. Seeds that grew into a culture of self-knowledge. The phenomenon inspired a whole wave of courses, lectures, coaches, and therapists whose practices, more or less, grew from that foundation of mental liberation. But it wasn't all sunshine. That boom brought some real controversy too. To many, The Secret became shorthand for magical thinking, or just a simplistic formula that ignored deep emotions, unconscious beliefs, and all the countless variables of real life. Some accused Rhonda Byrne of being a fraud, just in it for the money, launching the book for personal profit. Reasonable questions arose. If all you have to do is think, why do so many people fail to manifest? What about pain, trauma, injustice? Is the universe really as neutral as the book made it sound? Some genuine followers, frustrated by disappointment, turned away from self-development altogether, believing that it doesn't work for everyone. The greatest legacy? The Secret made the world search for answers beyond the obvious. It sparked essential questions, ones that opened the door for modern science, like quantum physics and neuroscience, to meet practical spirituality. It was the first step toward recognizing the true power we all carry, but it also made it clear we had to move past feel-good talk. If wanting alone were enough, no one would struggle. If positive thinking were all it took, the world would already be perfect. But reality runs deeper, and that's where all the magic and responsibility of conscious creation really lives. 2. The limitations of positive thinking. Why doesn't the formula work for everyone? After the explosion of The Secret, much of the world caught the positive thinking wave. It was inspiring, making vision boards, repeating mantras, visualizing the perfect life. For a while, this gave millions a burst of motivation. But for many, frustration set in, quickly. Real life turned out to be a lot messier than the rosy script sold in the books. How many of us tried to follow the manifestation steps to the letter, only to hit obstacles, face the same old challenges, or experience the dreaded nothing changed feeling? A lot of people silenced their skepticism with guilt. Am I the problem? Am I not wishing the right way? Do I just not believe enough? Why isn't positive thinking alone enough? 1. Surface level versus true depth. Positive thinking matters, but it's only the surface. What really drives change are the patterns deep in the subconscious. Inherited beliefs, past experiences, unprocessed emotions. How often does your mind say, "It'll work out," while deep down, you still feel fear, doubt, or resentment? The universe, or say, the quantum field, responds to what you're honestly feeling, not just what you repeat to yourself. 2. Denying the shadow side. The whole "just think positive" movement created a new taboo. So-called negative emotions became demonized. But envy, shame, anger, sadness, and fear don't go away just because you ignore them. They grow. And when we don't process these energies, they keep running the show. More scarcity, self-sabotage, negative thoughts, the same old patterns on repeat. 3. The power of the unconscious. Neuroscience now shows about 95% of the time we're running on autopilot. Automatic programs, learned reactions, dormant emotions. So, even if you think positively for a few minutes a day, for the rest of the hours, it's your emotions, beliefs, and memories, often hidden, that are setting your frequency. 4. Fake optimism. The guilt trap. When positive thinking doesn't materialize, guilt sets in. If it didn't work, it's because I didn't wish the right way. I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. That cycle just reinforces negative feelings, the exact opposite of what you were hoping for. 5. Action is vibration. Manifestation isn't just mental, it's about choices, actions, decisions. Wishing for health won't mean much if you keep up self-destructive habits, for example. Alignment happens in your emotions, your thoughts, and your everyday actions. The energy of what you do speaks just as loudly as what you think. Yes, positive thinking opens doors. It's the first invitation for the universe to work in your favor. But if you don't do the inner housekeeping, if you don't face hidden beliefs, bottled up emotions, and deeply rooted patterns, you'll keep repeating the same old reality, even if you listen to motivational tracks every day. It's time to see past the illusion of the easy formula. The real breakthrough starts with the courage to look inside, embrace your humanness, honor your shadows, and only then shift your frequency and align with what you truly want to manifest. 3. The new science behind manifestation. What quantum physics and neuroscience have revealed about creating your own reality. For a long time, talk of manifestation was dismissed as New Age fringe, the domain of alternative types, or just a matter of faith. But in recent years, this conversation has echoed in the halls of cutting-edge research in quantum physics, neuroscience, and depth psychology, bringing to the debate what used to be pure intuition or belief. Quantum physics. From the invisible to the possible. Quantum physics explores reality on the microscopic scale, where the old certainties of traditional physics break down. There, everything is energy, vibration, probability. 1. The observer effect. Picture this. In the quantum world, particles aren't solid things, but clouds of possibilities. Only when someone observes them, focuses attention with intention, do these possibilities collapse into a single reality. What does this mean for your life? The simple act of observing and focusing your attention, infused with feeling and intention, literally impacts the universe around you. 2. Reality isn't fixed. The fabric of the universe isn't a preset machine, but a field in constant creation. Everything is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. In practice, your thoughts and emotions are energetic pulses within that field. They interact and resonate with matching possibilities. Neuroscience and psychology. The brain creates reality. Brain science shows that every thought sets off a chemical reaction in the body. Emotions create habits, both psychological and physical. Our perception of reality is filtered by belief systems, mostly formed in childhood, by family and society. 3. Neuroplasticity. You can rebuild yourself. For decades, it was thought that the brain stopped changing in adulthood. Neuroscience proved the opposite. The brain is plastic. It changes with new experiences, choices, emotions, and focused attention. You can literally reprogram your mind, creating new neural pathways and emotional patterns. But this isn't just about good intentions. It takes practice, repetition, acceptance of your feelings, and the formation of new habits. 4. Emotion, the universal code. The key isn't just thinking, but above all, feeling. Intense emotions, positive and negative, directly impact the electromagnetic field around the heart, and this field communicates your desires, fears, and beliefs to the quantum universe, drawing in matching experiences. The truth behind the word energy. It used to be almost taboo to say everything is energy. But that's not just a spiritual metaphor anymore. It's hard science. All matter is made of vibrating atoms. We're all interacting with invisible fields, and our mental, emotional states physically alter both our bodies and our surroundings. Think about it. When you walk into a heavy, tense environment, you sense it instantly, even if nothing's being said out loud. Unresolved trauma gets stored in the body as emotional memories, influencing your choices without you even realizing. That's why wishing just isn't enough. You have to align thought, feeling, and action onto the same frequency, cleaning up self-defeating patterns and cultivating wholehearted intention, bit by bit. Conscious manifestation is much more than self-help. It's science, emotion, dedication, and inner truth. Anyone who truly understands this wins real autonomy over their life, to create, to heal, to transform, and above all, to break free from the role of a victim of chance. 4. You don't need to learn how to manifest. You're already manifesting. No matter what the self-help industry tries to sell you, manifestation isn't a talent reserved for the enlightened or something you have to earn through hard work. The most powerful, and sometimes most uncomfortable, truth is, you're already manifesting everything around you, every moment, whether you realize it or not. Reality. Your inner state reflected everything in your life right now. Your relationships, work, financial patterns, daily situations, is a mirror of your deepest inner state. The thoughts, recurring feelings, and, most of all, the deeply rooted beliefs you might not even be aware of, are materializing people, scenarios, and experiences that match your personal frequency. Quantum physics backs this up. Frequency attracts frequency. It doesn't matter if you're aware of it or not. Unconscious manifestation, the autopilot. If you believe you don't deserve, guess which experiences keep showing up? If you're unconsciously carrying patterns of abandonment, scarcity, or fear of failure, the universe receives that as your main beacon. That's why so many people end up disappointed with the law of attraction. They're still vibing with old patterns, hoping for change on the surface. Conscious manifestation, the creator's leap change, begins the moment you become aware of what you're creating. From there, you can choose to observe recurring patterns with honesty, not self-blame. Practice self-observation and question limiting beliefs. Raise your emotional and mental frequency through gratitude, forgiveness, compassion, and purpose. Align thoughts, feelings, and actions toward what you want. The liberating truth. No one is adrift. Your life's current state reveals that a creative intelligence is already at work, your own. When you take genuine responsibility, not blame, not victimhood, you tap into the power to open up new possibilities and rewrite your story. Practical exercise. Your manifestation inventory. Look at your life today without judgment. What keeps repeating? Where does life flow? Where does it get stuck? Which feelings dominate your days? The goal isn't to assign blame, it's to shed light on what was hiding in the shadows. That's where the first real breath of freedom happens. If I created this, I can create something else. If my energy called in this experience, I can learn to tune into a better reality. You don't have to learn how to manifest. You've been doing it all along. The true power is in remembering, awakening to the process, and intentionally directing your inner state with truth, courage, and intention to create realities that are in tune with your deepest self. 5. Pay attention to coherence, thought, feeling, and action, the real secret behind true manifestation. Let's be honest. How many times have you wished for something, visualized it with all your might, but deep down, you still felt doubt, fear, or kept acting just like before? That's the big twist right there. The universe, the quantum field, God, whatever name you use, responds to your whole frequency, not to an isolated wish with shaky roots. The manifestation triad. Thought, what you desire and where you focus your mind. Images, words, intentions. Emotion, how you genuinely feel when you think about it. Enthusiasm, fear, guilt, a sense of deserving. Action, what you actually do. Your choices, habits, patterns, and how you respond to daily life. Where there is coherence, there is power. Think about it. If you think big but feel small, you'll manifest small. If you think big and feel deserving but act out of self-sabotage, you just repeat old cycles. When thought, feeling, and action line up, you generate an electromagnetic field so coherent and strong that the universe responds almost like a magnet. Heart science, like studies from the HeartMath Institute, proves this. Our electromagnetic field expands when thoughts and emotions are in sync, and this affects our environment, synchronicities, what we attract, and even our health. Where self-deception hides. A lot of people chase techniques and rituals but forget the key point. It's no use declaring I am abundant if, inside, you feel scarcity, envy, or fear of loss. It's no use visualizing love if your body reacts from a pattern of rejection. It's no use planning the new if your daily actions trace the same old paths. The universe doesn't hear words, it reads frequencies. How to cultivate and align coherence. Daily self-observation. Always ask, does what I think agree with how I feel and what I do? Revisit your beliefs. Notice misalignment. Welcome the emotion. Ask where it comes from. Work to release it. Small but committed actions. Habits transform more than bold promises you never keep. Celebrate micro wins. Every time your mind, feeling, and action align, even on something small, celebrate. The more you practice coherence, the easier and more natural it becomes. You start manifesting more effortlessly, not through forcing, but because you're genuinely in tune. You manifest who you are, not just what you want, but what you feel and do every day. The big shift isn't about some miracle technique. It's about the genuine commitment to be coherent with yourself. Where there is coherence, there's true manifestation. Where there's a mismatch, there's self-deception, and life keeps repeating the same patterns. 6. Reprogramming and neuroplasticity. The brain's role in creating reality. Have you noticed that, even after reading books, attending seminars, or even going on immersive retreats, certain patterns keep popping back up in your life? That sensation of taking one step forward and two back. This isn't a lack of willpower. It's biology. It's neuroscience. The brain, a programmable supercomputer. As children, especially up to age 7, our brains are mostly in alpha and theta waves, hypnotic states where everything we hear, feel, and experience is written straight into the subconscious. That's where the foundations of beliefs, automatic emotions, and behavior patterns are formed. As adults, we keep running these programs, even when they no longer help us. That's why you try to thrive, but a voice inside insists, that's not for me. You want healthy relationships, but attract the same old types. You dream big, but always hit the same glass ceiling. Neuroplasticity, the power to transform. It used to be thought that the brain stopped changing after a certain age. Now we know the brain is plastic. It remaps connections and builds new pathways whenever you experience, feel, or think something new, repeatedly. How to truly reprogram. Awareness is step 1. You can't change what you deny or don't know. Observing your patterns without judgment opens the door to a new story. Live the new, repeatedly. Wishing isn't enough. You need to feel and experience the new pattern, creating small rituals to replace old habits. Vivid visualizations. Affirmations you emotionally believe. Shifting your internal dialogue. Practicing daily gratitude and presence. Embrace discomfort. The brain, to save energy, loves the familiar. That's why change, even when positive, feels physically strange at first. Don't give up. That discomfort is simply your old self being uninstalled. Leverage emotional reinforcements. Strong emotions, positive or negative, can rewire your brain more quickly. Use high-energy emotional states, joy, inspiration, love, gratitude, to anchor new beliefs and behaviors. Practical tools. Guided meditation helps you access your subconscious and dissolve old patterns. Conscious exposure. Intentionally choose environments, content, and people that support the new version of yourself you're committed to creating. Self-observation journal. Write down patterns, wins, setbacks, and daily micro-victories. It's not magic, it's practice. The more consistently you repeat, feel, practice, and stay aware, the more effortless and natural these new patterns become. On both a neuroscientific and energetic level, this is literally changing your frequency. Something extraordinary happens when quantum physics meets the law of attraction. At first glance, traditional science and the world of human desires seem to speak entirely different languages. But when quantum physics, the study of the invisible, pure potential and energy, touches the law of attraction, something genuinely strange, almost surreal, and deeply transformative happens. Reality isn't as solid as we thought. Remember how we were taught the world is made only of solid matter? Well, quantum physicists left that certainty behind a long time ago. In the quantum world, particles behave like waves of possibility. They only collapse into a definite reality when they're observed. In other words, the presence of the observer, that's us, has the capacity to influence what actually comes into being. Consciousness, intention, and choice. The law of attraction has always declared, what you focus on expands. Quantum physics is beginning to affirm, everything vibrates, everything is energy at different frequencies, and focused attention can, in fact, shape this energy, turning pure potential into real-life experience. The collapse of the wave function and our desires. On the quantum level, only potential exists, infinite possibilities in the field. But here's where the magic and science meet. When we place intention, emotion, and attention on something, we choose one of those possibilities for reality, literally materializing it. It's like we are invisible programmers, engaged in the very source code of existence. Science and spirituality. Together, the new paradigm. This meeting point doesn't dissolve the mystery. It deepens our awe and opens the door to us as conscious creators. The law of attraction evolves from mere metaphysical belief to a deeper, more empowered understanding of our role as co-creators. It's not just about thinking, but feeling, observing, longing with presence, trusting, and acting, knowing that the universe, like the quantum field, responds powerfully to awakened consciousness. Block conclusion. When you unite the best of scientific discovery with the power of intention, life stops being random and becomes an invitation. Which possibilities do you want to collapse into reality today? 7. The role of emotion. Why feeling is the strongest magnet for creation. For a long time, emotions were regarded as obstacles. They just cloud your reason, or things to suppress. Don't think negative, don't feel anger, total repression. But for true manifestation, it's not enough to think positive. You have to feel deeply, authentically, and in alignment. Emotion is what actually charges the field of creation with energy. The science of emotions today, neuroscience and physics both confirm. Emotion is an electrical charge, literally capable of changing the energy field around us. The human heart, according to Heart Math Institute studies, emits an electromagnetic field far more intense than that of the brain. This field interacts with everything and everyone, reinforcing repeating patterns or opening up space for something new. Feeling as a request to the universe. The universe doesn't respond to "I want" on the mental level. It responds to "I am," "I feel," "I vibrate." Your request is not just the phrase you write down, but the vibration you give off every single day. Practical example. You affirm, "I am abundant," but your deeper feeling is fear of scarcity. What you manifest is more circumstances confirming lack. You visualize a new love, but internally feel unworthy or anxious. The universe responds to the frequency of fear, not the image you hold. Negative emotions are not the enemy. Avoiding sadness, anger, disappointment, or fear doesn't erase or diminish these forces. If anything, ignored emotions morph into automatic beliefs, silently sabotaging your deepest desires. The secret isn't eliminating so-called low emotions, but embracing, understanding, and releasing them, so you can consciously return to higher vibrational states. Give the body a voice. When a strong emotion arises, ask yourself, what does this feeling want to teach me? What do I need to embrace, forgive, or transform? By listening to your emotions, you unlock energy that was trapped in old repetitive patterns. That energy then flows more freely, raising the frequency of your manifestations. Tools for raising emotional frequency. Conscious breathing quickly shifts your internal state and calms peaks of emotion. Deliberate gratitude practice. Even for small things, truly feeling gratitude changes your frequency. Self-acceptance. Embrace yourself with all your emotions, without guilt or judgment. This alone is transformative. The virtuous cycle of elevated emotion. When you cultivate states like joy, love, hope, gratitude, and compassion, your field expands. You begin to attract synchronicities, opportunities, and people on the same vibration. This is why positive manifestations start to happen effortlessly. Everything feels lighter, more natural, more connected. It's not an exaggeration. Feeling is the magnet. Whoever truly learns to feel overflows their vibration into the universe, and life responds in kind. Manifestation is not about controlling everything. It's about joining the flow, feeling, releasing, and more, choosing emotions that match what you most want to live. 8. Responsibility and authenticity. How to stop self-sabotage and become the main character in your manifestation. So many people ride a roller coaster as they try to manifest their dreams. Some even give up along the way, believing, "I just wasn't born with this gift," or "nothing ever works out for me." What's usually behind this? Most of the time, cycles of self-sabotage and a lack of honesty with oneself. The myth of the victim of fate. As long as we're stuck in stories like, "The world is unfair," "Nothing good ever happens to me," or "People always betray me," we hand over our power to external circumstances and feel powerless in our own lives. Even when understandable, this position keeps all your strength outside of yourself and strips you of the ability to truly transform your world. The turning point. Authentic responsibility. Radical responsibility isn't blame or punishment. It's simple. Whatever passes through your field, your experience, is somehow related to your vibration and your choices, whether conscious or not. It's not about blame, but about gathering up all the power you've scattered through circumstances, relationships, and past patterns. It means looking inward and asking, what inside me creates, allows, or repeats this experience? Only then do you stop being a bystander and truly become responsible, the one with the ability to respond. Finally, the protagonist. Authenticity. Practice your real power. Manifesting depends on alignment, so it makes no sense to chase after anyone else's dreams or chain yourself to masks that just please others. The universe responds to your essence, not your performance. The more authentic you are in your desires, choices, and emotions, the purer, more direct, and more powerful is what you send out into the field of creation. If your dreams aren't really yours, but come from family, society, or a wounded ego, your frequency is out of tune and manifestation gets stuck. When you recognize, accept, and own who you are, you open a portal for manifestations to flow without resistance. How to stop self-sabotage. Observe your self-image. What stories do you keep telling about yourself? Do you belittle yourself, doubt your worth, or always expect things to go wrong? Notice your automatic choices. Ever see yourself dodging opportunities, procrastinating, or even creating mini disasters just before you advance? Mini acts of authenticity. In your daily life, try making small choices that are truer to your real desires, whether in conversations, projects, or self-care. Responsibility creates freedom. When you accept that life responds to your inner world, not just the other way around, you start to clear old patterns, drop excuses, and take the reins. That is creative freedom. That is soul autonomy. Manifestation becomes a natural extension of your inner truth, not an artificial effort or a random accident. To claim authentic responsibility, stop sabotaging yourself, and act in truth is revolutionary. This is where true manifestation begins. Not from fear, nor from a wish to please, but from the power of being who you are. Whole, imperfect, yet conscious and ever-growing. 9. Conscious manifestation in daily life. Practices, tips, and a new perspective on living. Now that you understand how mind, emotion, and energy create reality, it's time to apply this in the mundane, in small choices, reactions, conversations, and unglamorous daily rituals. 1. Cultivate presence. The now is the only field of creation. Anxiety is just too much future. Guilt is too much past. The gateway to all manifestation is the present moment. Practice being fully here, whether washing dishes, listening to someone, or experiencing your own body. Simple techniques like mindful breathing or paying conscious attention can realign your energy anytime in your day. 2. Create small daily rituals. Begin each morning by intentionally setting the energy you want to feel and spread. Spend just 2 minutes writing down what you're genuinely grateful for right now. Visualize and feel a goal as if it's already happening, noticing what emotions arise. At day's end, celebrate micro wins. Every more aligned choice, small act of self-love, or more conscious response. 3. Participate in life with courage. Take steps, even small ones, toward what you want. Action is the highest act of faith. Don't wait for confidence to act. Act, and confidence will flow from the results. If you stumble on old patterns, don't blame yourself. Observe, accept, and choose again. 4. Surround yourself with true inspiration. Choose environments, people, content, and conversations that elevate your energy. Be discerning about what narratives you consume. Thoughts are seeds, and everything impacts your field. Swap comparison for co-creation. Share, inspire, and be open to inspiration. 5. Strengthen self-compassion. Every emotion deserves to be felt, understood, released. Even sadness and doubt have their place. Self-love powerfully shifts your frequency. Self-care isn't a luxury. It's the very foundation of conscious creation. 6. Remember, you're always manifesting. Even when nothing happens, you're manifesting from what you feel or refuse to act on. Life doesn't respond to your pain, but to what you repeat. Change subtle patterns, and big shifts can sprout up effortlessly. See your life with new eyes. Manifesting what you want truly begins, deep down, with this realization. You are already the creator. All you need is to remember, realign, and be honest with yourself. Transform small habits and thoughts. Trust the process. Celebrate progress. And above all, become your own best companion on this journey. You are not alone. And there's no life that you can't rewrite when you bring consciousness, presence, and intention into the daily fabric of how you live. And a heartfelt thank you. Thank you so much for allowing yourself to live through this experience and dive into these concepts with me. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What touched you most on this journey? Which insight made the most sense or opened a new path for your conscious manifestation? Is there any point you'd like to see explored deeper? Any question or topic you'd suggest for our future circles? Your opinion and your story matter deeply as we co-create this community of real transformation together. Don't forget, share your experience, post your discoveries, and, if this message resonated, pass it on to others who deserve a new vision of abundance and prosperity as well. Let's build this journey together. Drop a comment, send a suggestion, and stay tuned. Much more is coming. Are you ready for the next step?